that if IBC does this, Kenya will almost like saying Kenya will burn. There will be no country. A man who speaks like that is very reckless. You cannot, he is not bigger than Kenya. Anybody who talks about Kenya going to a dark side really doesn't deserve to have the highest office in the land. I'll put my cards on William Ruto. 2027 right now, I'm inclined to support the current president because I like what he's doing. I love his vision for Kenya. I love the fact that he works up every day in spite of all the insults to serve Kenyans. And he's very hardworking and he's got a good vision. You have to be tried and tested. You have to have already, when I became a politician, I was Mamata. I had already done a project of lighting up the slums. People already knew me and knew what I stood for. I'd already gone and started serving people even before I became an elected leader. So it's not just being a Gen Z. It's not just being a content creator. It's not just being somebody with a good following. We saw that during Peter Kennett's time. He had a huge following on social media, but he didn't make the cut in terms of being the presidential candidate. 27,000.
Oh my, so your brokest amount is 27,000.
So the thing is, I was a citizen just like you. And then I was angry about something that went wrong with my project, Adopt a Light. I couldn't understand why politicians did not support me, why corruption was carrying the order of the day. And so because I saw what happened with my business, and I couldn't understand why politics was not supporting and helping me, I decided to do what JFK said. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So I got into politics. Having got into politics, I've seen that there's lots of things that can go wrong and lots of things that can go right. And being a citizen, a businesswoman, and now a politician, all through, I remain true to myself and my identity of who I am. I still want to do good, but I know that politics is not easy. And getting things done as an individual also is not easy. It's a long step. It's a journey. And I really pray that we succeed, and where we fail, the next generation picks up. And we continue like that, so we improve our country. So long as we're progressing, I think it's good for everyone.
Speaking of the next generation, in case a Gen Z wanted to be president, to vie for presidency in 2027, would you support them?
Let me tell you what, 2027, it will be interesting to see who comes on. I would like to see, you have to be tried and tested. You have to have already, when I became a politician, I was Mamata. I had already done a project of lighting up the slums. People already knew me and knew what I stood for. I'd already gone and started serving people even before I became an elected leader. So it's not just being a Gen Z. It's not just being a content creator. It's not just being somebody with a good following. We saw that during Peter Kennett's time. He had a huge following on social media, but he didn't make the cut in terms of being the presidential candidate. Kenya is, as Michael Joseph put it, very peculiar. So let's just wait and see. For me, 2027 right now, I'm inclined to support the current president because I like what he's doing. I love his vision for Kenya. I love the fact that he works up every day in spite of all the insults to serve Kenyans. And he's very hardworking and he's got a good vision. So unless somebody better comes along, I think I'll put my cards on William Ruto. Well, I saw something that the deputy president said today, or is it yesterday? Where he gave a caution that if IBC does this, Kenya will almost like saying Kenya will burn. There will be no country. A man who speaks like that is very reckless. You cannot, he is not bigger than Kenya. All right? The Kenya is bigger than him. So for me, I think that's reckless conversation. I think people should join the party that gives them the most hope. And I believe that our president right now is going out there and trying to reinstate hope. All right? And give people a chance. On Tuesday, he'll be launching that 1,000 houses in Mukuru. I want Kenyans to join in. If you've not registered, *3832#. Register with Boma Yangu and look at the nearest development around your area and get an opportunity. Register with SHA, get into your medical cover. We're building classrooms, we're creating jobs, opportunities for teachers, for greening Nairobi. There's so many platforms that you can benefit from. I think right now it's not an election period. We shouldn't be talking about 2027. We should be talking about today, tomorrow, and lessons from yesterday. And for me, anybody who talks about Kenya going to a dark side really doesn't deserve to have the highest office in the land.
Is there anything that the government is doing to push payment from like platforms like Instagram?
You know, I think we do have a problem in that other countries are able to leverage on Instagram, on X, and on TikTok and Facebook, and Kenya somehow hasn't done that. I think it's a conversation that we need to have because they can't afford not to have Kenyans, and I think it's time that they stop exploiting Kenyans. They need to also make sure that Kenyans can earn the same as any other TikToker or any other Instagram person or X anywhere in the world. And I think it's a conversation that we can go together with you who are the ones who are the wearers of the shoes and knows where it pinches, so we can make that conversation. And when we're having bilateral agreements with countries that host these platforms, otherwise we come up with our own platforms. You see what happened with Uber when I think Bolt is from Estonia and India have their own. At the end of the day, if you don't serve the citizens of that country and they're the ones who keep your platforms active, then their citizens will create their own platform. So I think it's important that they start appreciating our Kenyans on social media, our content creators, and paying them equal pay. You can't discriminate. And I think it's something that we need to fight for.
They are paying. Facebook is paying right now, but TikTok and Instagram is not.
I know, but the thing is, I think, well, even if Facebook is paying, are they paying you the same as they're paying their influencers? Exactly. So it has to be equal pay because likes are likes wherever they are. You know, it's hard to say this, but when you have a huge population and you have a lot of mental health issues, and then you have a society that is unchecked and laws that are not strong enough, you end up with a lot of femicide. So I think we need to strengthen all round. First, we have to also raise the morality levels of our people, because you don't just wake up in the morning and kill your wife or kill your girlfriend. You know, it's something that you planned, it's something that you've gone through. So we need a lot of counseling. We need to make sure that people are able to talk to somebody and not feel that the solution out of your problem or out of your marriage or out of your relationship is to murder someone. Okay? I think the police force needs to be a bit more funded and able to solve all crimes. And I really feel that you know, we abolished the death sentence, and we made every offense bailable, innocent until proven guilty. And for me, I feel sometimes that we need to take a hard stance against femicide, and especially where the evidence is glaring, right? But what we're doing as Ngaf Nairobi, we're building a shelter so women have a place to go. We're putting GBV units in police stations. We want to synchronize from the call center to the hospital to the safe house, and then to aftercare. Because what happens is, if you're a perpetrator and you're arrested, you go to jail, you have food, you have medical, you even have education, and you have a house to stay, you know, in prison. But if you are a survivor, you have very little support. So we're trying to make sure that we have a lot more support for survivors. But more than that, I think social media content creators and influencers could actually try and understand why is this happening and educate the people. Defilement, children. I mean, people are preying on children. Even fathers are preying on their daughters. And you blame it on alcoholism. It's not the alcohol, it's the sick mind. So we need to figure out how to communicate and make it so wrong. You know, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for everyone, because no one wants to see this happening. But with a huge population in a big city, you know, crime is rampant, and we're seeing it now because of social media. Probably it's been happening before. You know, people used to say, "Oh, how come we didn't know about cancer before?" It was probably there, but we didn't know about it because we were not aware. So I feel that we have to be each other's keepers and protectors. I want the men out there to protect the girls. You know, when a man takes a girl forcefully or a child, you are evil.
Very.
Yeah.
Content creators and Kenyans in general are trying to push what is it called? The signage on social media, so that to push that femicide should be considered like a crime in Kenya.
It is a crime, and we've got the Sexual Offences Act, which we're enhancing, but the fact remains that perpetrators are out. So we need the police force to give a complete report on all the femicide cases and where have they reached, because somewhere along the line they just die. It's not how you dress, it's not how you walk, it's not which bars you visit. At the end of the day, those are your freedoms, all right? I feel women should try to understand that we have a society that's bad. When you leave your drink in the bar, don't go back and drink it. Don't rush and dance and then come back to your drink, because a lot of girls are getting their drinks spiked. Next thing is never go to the toilets on your own. Go with somebody. Be in a company of people, and always know how, you'd rather spend the night in a girlfriend's house than try and get home on your own. So we have to try and make sure that we protect each other. And I think when you walk in crowds, and know who you're going out with. Because, sometimes you might meet somebody for the first time and trust them. Don't be trusting, because you don't know that the next person sitting next to you is out to kill you. All right? He's out to have fun with you and destroy you. So don't take somebody's smile and the fact that he can buy you a drink to mean that he's a good guy. You have to know who you're hanging out with.
Okay. Yeah. What advice would you give to the people watching, especially young girls who are watching this interview?
You know what? The first person who should love you is you. So when you love yourself, right? You work hard to make the best version of yourself. And life is hard, but the fact that you're alive, you already have the blessing of life. So no matter how hard life becomes, right, always hold on to your identity, all right? And don't let anyone steal that from you. Don't let somebody make you what you're not. Because I think a lot of girls are so vulnerable. So because you want the good life, probably, you compromise a lot, all right? Don't compromise a lot. The good life will come with hard work, right? And it's better when you earn something for yourself than when it's given to you by someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question. This is like a fun question. What is your brokest amount?
My brokest amount?
Yeah.
0.
No ways.
I'm telling you. Do you know, first of all, especially during campaign time, during campaign time, I would get home and I don't even have my coins. And my maid would tell me, Mom, we need milk. And I'm looking in my bag and I have nothing. So, but the thing is, when you develop trust, you will always have money. So even when I have no money, I'm on Fuliza. All right? And the reason I can get on Fuliza is because I pay my Fuliza debt.
So your brokest amount is your Fuliza. How much is your Fuliza?
27,000.
Oh my, so your brokest amount is 27,000. Okay, thank you so much for your time.